I didn't even realize it at first. It wasn't a moment that screamed or came with fireworks. It was quiet. I was just lying there one night, the room silent, my phone on the table, and suddenly, I whispered to myself, I think I'm going crazy for her. And not in the wild kind of way, not the kind that burns fast and leaves ashes behind. This was different. This was slow, steady, deep. The kind that pulls you in gently and holds you without asking. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't expecting it. But there it was. This feeling that kept growing. She was everywhere in my day, in the spaces between work, in the soft silence of the morning, in the last thought before I slept. A song would remind me of her. A word, a random memory. I'd find myself smiling without realizing. Just the idea of her could make my whole mood lighter. She wasn't there beside me, but she was with me all the time. In my chest when a message came through, in my thoughts when I wondered if she was okay, if she had eaten, if she was happy. I didn't even try to fight it. I didn't want to. Because the truth is, I love this version of me. The one who feels more, who thinks deeper, who listens better. All because of her. She brings out a kind of peace in me, and yet, she also makes my heart race. I catch myself replaying our conversations. The way she says my name, how her laugh always comes a second late when she's really happy. There's a softness in her voice when she talks to me, a warmth I've never known before. And when she says my name, it's like it matters more coming from her. Like I matter more. But she didn't know all this. Not fully. She didn't know how deep it went. How often I looked at her picture just shaking my head thinking, how did this even happen? I was fine before, stable, peaceful. But now, I'm completely gone in the best way possible. Not lost, not helpless, just happily gone. Like I've been taken by something real, something that doesn't need to be explained. One night I couldn't keep it in any longer. I paced around, phone in hand, putting it down and picking it up again. How do you say something that's been sitting in your chest for so long it's become a part of who you are? I wasn't afraid of her rejecting me, not exactly. I was just afraid that maybe she didn't feel it the same way. That maybe she liked me, but not like this. Not with the kind of intensity I was feeling. Not with the kind of tenderness that made my heart ache. But I knew if I didn't say it now, it would stay stuck inside me. So I opened our chat and simply typed, "Can I be real with you for a minute?" And she replied almost instantly, "Always. What's on your heart?" That was all I needed. That little space she gave me, that open door, I poured it all out. How I think about her more than I should. How her voice plays in my head when I can't sleep. How she's become a part of my everyday without even trying. I told her that when she's happy, my day feels lighter. And when she's quiet, something inside me aches even if I don't know why. I told her she's taken over my thoughts and I'm not even mad about it. I said, I don't know what this means for us, but I can't keep pretending I'm not absolutely going crazy for you. Then I hit send, and I waited, heart racing, thoughts spinning. Seconds felt like hours. Then she replied, one line. That's all it took. I've been waiting for you to say it first. And just like that, everything shifted. The fear, the silence, the guessing, it all fell away. Now we were two people, hearts wide open, finally speaking the same truth. I called her. I couldn't keep that moment behind screens. I needed to hear her voice. She answered with a soft laugh, a little nervous, and said, "So we're really saying it now?" And I said, "Yes, no more hiding." She paused for a second, then said, "I didn't want to scare you off, but I feel everything you feel, maybe even more." That was the moment it became real. Not maybe, not someday, but now. Alive. Growing. Something deeper than anything we'd planned for. We didn't talk about big plans or put labels on it. We just talked about us. About how easy it felt from the beginning. How we noticed the tiniest things about each other. How I remembered the exact way her voice sounded when she was sleepy. and how she remembered the words I used when I was overthinking. We talked about how it scared us too, how natural it felt, because sometimes the easy kind of love is the one that feels most unreal. She said, I wasn't planning for this, and I told her, that's how I knew it was right. Not because it was fast, but because it felt quietly true. Then she asked, do you think we're falling in love? I didn't pause. I didn't try to play it safe. I said, no doubt in my mind. Because it was already happening. In our words, in our silences, in the way we saw each other. The next few days felt different, not because everything changed overnight, but because now everything had meaning. A good morning text warmed more than before. A voice note during lunch felt like a hug. Even the silence between us didn't feel heavy anymore, because now we understood each other. Now, we were real. We didn't rush anything. No pressure. No need to define it. Just two people who kept showing up for each other, day after day, in small, beautiful ways. She sent a picture of the evening sky once, pink and soft. The kind of sky that makes you feel small in the best way. I told her, that's how I feel when I talk to you, like everything else gets quieter. And she replied, I keep catching myself smiling for no reason now. You've done that. We built it slowly, with honesty, with vulnerability, with little moments of trust. I told her about my past, about the times I gave too much and ended up empty, about how I learned to guard my heart. She didn't interrupt. She didn't try to fix anything. She just said, I don't want to take from you. I want to give you peace, even if we take it slow. That's all I ever needed to hear. Because real love doesn't push. It waits. It listens. It understands. One night I asked her, what are you most afraid of in all this? She paused, then said softly, that it's too good, and I'll ruin it somehow. I looked at the screen, smiled a little, and replied, you won't. We'll protect it together, and if we keep showing up like this, we'll be just fine. And in that moment, I knew we would be. Then the day came. The one we'd imagined 100 times. The airport. The nerves. The moment we'd finally see each other in person. It wasn't loud. It wasn't like in the movies. It was quiet. Real. I stood there at the arrival gate, looking around with that same nervous smile she's seen 100 times on video. But now, I wasn't just pixels on a screen. Then I saw her. And she saw me. We didn't run. We didn't shout. We just walked toward each other. One slow, quiet step at a time. And when we were finally close enough, I reached for her hands. She held on tight, and I whispered, you're real. She nodded, her voice barely above a breath. So are you. That moment, it said more than all the texts, all the calls, because nothing replaces the way someone's hand feels in yours, or the way their breath sounds when they're that close. We left the airport side by side, no plans, no pressure, just peace. Later, at the small cafe she picked, I watched her, talk to the waiter. Same voice, same smile. But this time, I could see it all in real life. I caught myself staring. She noticed. What? She asked, smiling shyly. I shook my head and said, nothing. I'm just trying to remember everything, about right now, because love like this deserves to be remembered. Our first full day together wasn't grand. We didn't do anything big. We woke up slowly, no alarms, just the light coming through the window and the soft sound of her breathing. I opened my eyes first, turned to see her still half asleep, her hand just inches away. I didn't move. I just looked. Because this moment was real. And I was finally living the dream I used to only imagine. When she woke up, she blinked and saw me smiling at her. She whispered, I was scared it was a dream. I kissed her forehead and said, then let's not waste it. We walked to the local market, shared food, held hands like we'd been doing it forever. She showed me her favorite bookstore, the one with the creaky floors and shelves full of forgotten stories, and all I could think was, How did I ever live without this? How did I survive without her? She's my woman, and I'd choose her over everything. Every single time. He followed her down the narrow aisles, watching how her fingers danced across the book spines like they were old friends. She picked up one, flipped through it, and said, "This one reminds me of you." He asked why, and she smiled, "Because it's full of quiet depth." That moment stuck with him, not because of the book, but because she saw him in ways others never had. It wasn't about being charming or saying the right things. It was about being known, being seen in the stillness between words. They didn't try to do too much. They stopped at a little bench outside, sharing a drink, watching people walk by, and even in the silence there was comfort. He leaned back, stretched his legs out, and looked at her like she was the only reason the world made sense. She turned toward him, noticed the way he looked at her, and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. That quiet, bashful move she did when she was flustered. "Stop looking at me like that," she said. "Like what?" he asked with a smirk. "Like I'm everything." He didn't reply, just reached for her hand again and whispered, "Because you are." And she didn't pull away. She didn't laugh it off. She just squeezed his hand back. That small gesture meant more than any loud declaration, because this was what real love looked like. Not fireworks, not chaos, just peace. Just presence. That night, they stayed in.